Hey everyone, this is Louis7 and I am streaming the Lord of the Rings online on my Beorning. We are going to be doing some Moria stuff with the Moria progression group on my kinship on Anor. Initially we were planning on doing Dar Narbugud, but I'm not sure we'll actually have enough people to do that, so I did all the planning for this stream to be the Dar Narbugud DN, but it doesn't look like that will actually happen. So that's one of the unfortunate things with streaming. Sometimes things don't go as planned depending exactly what is going on. Also, the event started an hour earlier than I thought. Usually we do them at 7 p.m. my time, so like 8 p.m. server time. But due to some schedule changes with some people and the time change, the recent time change back to standard time, we decided to move it up an hour, and I kind of forgot about that until I decided to check like half an hour ago. So I am a little bit late with getting started here. So I think the people that are running are doing a 3-man, and they might leave if I ask them to, but I thought on this character I need to get him a new outfit, so I thought I could spend a little bit of time maybe getting that set up, and if they want to drop, I'll let them know. I could even do some of the Harvest Math Festival on this character. I don't know, I know I was just talked about getting an outfit for this character. I don't know if I'd want one like that. Because what I found out, I can actually have enough stuff to barter for some things. I guess maybe the old stuff, I like had to go way back. Oh, those are masks. They're actual cosmetics though. Like they're just things you could wear. But the unfortunate thing with a Beorning is the masks, well, not the mask, but any cosmetic. Usually I'm in bear form. I spend especially a lot of my time in bear form tanking, so you don't really care about my cosmetic armor all that much. But what I found out on my Runekeeper when I streamed 2 days ago on him, and we did some of the scaling group content, I think the Erebor raids, I had discovered having a good outfit was important. So again, I don't know for this character all that much, but I thought we could look at that a little bit just because it's something I want to do, or Harvest Mass Festival. And I'm going to let my kin know that I am ready if they want to stop that. I was about to say I am ready whenever, if you all can finish that though if you want. Okay, so we'll see exactly what is going on. I know I did the Curse of Eerie Acres. I did all this on Louisden. I didn't quite do all of the festival quests, so it's just something I could do. I'm trying to think this character, if there's anything I need to do on him in general. I actually have my first stage carving. I don't think I have that 100% set up. I don't even know if I have all the resources to do that. Yeah, it sounds like they're actually going to finish that. So one thing I'm actually curious is, maybe I did finish this. Yeah, I did finish it, it looks like. I had the Midsummer Festival and the whole storyline with that, I think, going on this character, but I think I did it. There's actually a way you can tell. So we're having a little bit of a weird start with the stream, I know. But it gives me a little bit of a time to just settle in on this character, I think. Kind of, yeah, get settled in is a good way to put it. No, the stream itself started earlier, so not much action to start, I guess, but let's see, if I show the completed quests on this character, he has completed 499 quests. We gotta get one more just to get that to a good round number. Midsummer, okay, I did Midsummer, but that doesn't help. I want Epic Volume 5, so it does look like I did all of Volume 5. The big thing with that is, wow, there's a lot of objectives with that. It doesn't show the reward, does it? Book 1? Yeah, so this is the big one, the class trait point from that. Of course, I'm not a fan of that being in that, but it is something I've done on this character. But another thing I could actually do is go on one of my lower level characters and see where they are in the progression. I have a level 50 something captain, so maybe I will do that for a moment. Oh, he's actually in the missions, the war room for that. But when we go to Mirkwood, I don't know how long we'll go to Mirkwood. I have a lore master. I actually have 2 lore masters I could take to Mirkwood, one Louisologist. As great of a name as that is, but Yeah, I do have 2 lore masters actually in that level range, but I think I'll just check my captain for now. And hello, the Psycho Pyro. You said you just started a week or so ago and you've leveled several classes from 20 to 35 or so, and you still can't decide on what class or what server between like normal and legendary. Well, I play on both the normal and legendary. I think they both have their benefits. So for the legendary server, I mainly play there just because my kinship is there. And like the group I will be playing with, I'm not playing with right now because they are already busy running one of the 3-mans, and that is full, but that's pretty much why I play on the legendary servers. The regular servers offer more content, I suppose, and faster leveling. But with the legendary servers, if you're interested in like getting to the level cap specifically like quickly, then they're somewhat of a better option because the level cap is a lot lower level. But as far as end-game content, it's mainly like epic battles, which already scale from level 10 to 95. I actually don't even know what to do on this character. I know I logged in on him like with intentions to do something, but I'd actually have to have, let me see what sort of currency I have. Perhaps I could barter for something on an alt and get him a legendary weapon that is better than what he has, because one of the things with high elf captains, at least, I really don't like the halberd animation, so I've almost been hesitant to play this character just because of my weapon, which shouldn't really be the case. So maybe that's what I'll do for a minute. But I hope the Psycho Pyro that my answer helped a little bit with your question. I feel like it didn't help much, but yeah, and another downside is, I don't know, some people have like lifetime accounts, so this isn't a worry for them, but if you pay for the subscription, that's what you need to play on a legendary server. Is if your subscription lapses, sometimes you won't be able to play that character. So usually I keep up my VIP subscription, but sometimes for like a week or two, if I don't need it for whatever content I'm doing, I can let it lapse, but then I won't be able to play on the server, is the downside of that. And also, one thing to consider with the legendary server is the population is about a quarter to a sixth as much as the other servers. So, or at least Arkenstone specifically, I think all the normal servers have relatively similar populations, maybe a bit of a variation in different, I think, different communities that do different things. So like Arkenstone I know is big for endgame and PvMP, and some of the other servers are good for other things. I feel like I'm just walking in circles, but we'll eventually get somewhere doing something. I have a ton of marks and medallions. One thing I actually need to do just in general is get a bunch of reputation items and barter for them before update 28.2. That's going to be an important thing to do for basically anybody that has alts that need reputation. It looks like I have some quest turn-ins. Might as well turn them in. I'm not getting XP or anything, but at least I get silver and legendary item XP. I don't know what instance we'll be doing. I know in the stream it's titled Dar Narbugud, or at least it used to be titled Dar Narbugud. The thumbnail and description I think is still DN. But let's see, trying to not walk in circles. I want to go to the Captain Trader. That's my first goal. It looks like I already used, these are the ones I have. I have a bunch of Kuzdal tablets. So these are for the higher item level stuff, or not higher item level, but higher level stuff. So I could get my captain a level 57 third age. I know I actually already have him second age for level 60. Oh, I even have him an axe for 58. I wonder if an axe would be okay. It probably shares the animations with halberds, so I probably wouldn't even like that, even though it's kind of odd on my High Elf Guardian. I like the two-handed hammer / axe animations. But yeah, server population. If you don't like very quiet servers, the legendary server won't be great for that. It's, as far as non-anonymous players right now on Sunday evening, server time, it's a little bit lower. You said you like the pacing of it, you don't like out leveling zones. So one thing you could do, I don't really like doing this, I'm just doing this because our progression group here is capped at level 60 for Moria content. You could get a Stone of the Tortoise. It's something a lot of people do. If they're starting to get maybe out-leveled, they just like use this to stop the XP. For me, I personally don't like stopping my XP, stopping my progression because of that. I think to me it feels like I'm just not getting the reward I should be. Even if I could limit my XP to half, I would rather do that than get no XP at all. Okay, so I couldn't do the Captain Trader thing. Maybe we can head to a skirmish camp, so I'm at least doing something. And see what this character's reputation is. And getting all that up would be good. So reputation, how do I even pull that up? C, rep, there we go. So we'll keep that there. And somebody sells reputation. Maybe we won't keep that there because I cannot see. Jewelry, cloak, classic. Classic maybe. No, that's classic armor. Which I might want to look at that. Curiosities, this is what we want. So I want to barter for as many reputation items as there are for the reputation on this character. I want to try to max everything out I can basically. Even Lost Off the Forest Shell wouldn't be bad to max out. It's going to take a lot of marks, but I have a ton of marks and medallions. The only thing I don't know is if it's worth getting the acceleration tome, and it does not appear to be the case, because that would cost medallions and marks and it only gives essentially 1000 rep. Whereas the purple items are a lot less marks and no medallions, and they give 700 rep each. So let me just make sure I'm not missing anything. These are all reputation. Okay, so we'll go one at a time. I'll just be clicking this a bunch. Too many requests, slow down. Really? Is this really going to take that long? I thought you could just keep like spamming this. I did not know this could actually give you too many requests since it's slowed down. I have never had that issue bartering for anything before. I'll just click it super slow. But hello, Angel Rivera, you said you're playing LOTRO while watching LOTRO for the win. Unfortunately, I'm not doing anything too exciting right now. I'm just like slowly clicking so I don't get too many requests slowed down. Wasn't even clicking that fast, I thought. But I'll basically keep using these until I get Kindred with each reputation. Because in update 28.2, at least the beta for it, they have it so these require you to do quests, and maybe on some of my characters, maybe this character even, I've done the required quest maybe to get Elvish relics, but I can't guarantee that. So it's going to be a lot harder to use reputation items in that update. And if I barter for extra on accident, I can of course pass these two alts. That's one thing I'll eventually do. But it's nice to get those reputations up. For one, you get LOTRO points. You actually get, I think, a decent amount of LOTRO points for doing this. So we'll see when I get Kindred. When I got Kindred, let's see how many LOTRO points that gave me. 20 LOTRO points for getting Kindred, so it's quite a lot. For that, at least relatively a lot, 20 LOTRO points for doing a deed just for clicking a bunch of reputation items, basically. So I will go down the list with all these on this character. Get all these. What are War Dispatch? Council of the North. Is that Ingmar, maybe? I think. That's one of the ones I've probably done the least of. I think that one you'll have to do like Cranog's Challenge from Augir. In the future, that's like going to be the gating quest for that. Yeah, this is going to be really slow if it keeps giving me the too many requests slowdown. I feel like I need something else to do while I'm doing this, but it's useful to do on this character. Again, even I actually have some reputation items. I can just use these. That'll help a little bit. Lost Off the Forest Shell, that's the one I'm scared of because I'm already an outsider with that. I need to get a ton of reputation. Council of North. I am ally. If I remember correctly, Kindred is right after ally, so I should be done. Just a couple more there. And then Rangers of Estelden, maybe? No, yeah, we do have Rangers of Estelden next. This one's even cheaper. I know the marks, compared to how many marks I have, I just don't spend my marks on the server, so I have a ton of them. But even just getting, if I had to get 100 of these, that's still only like 2,000 marks, which you can get fairly quickly at medium to high levels. Well, it looks like somebody even is doing a mark farm for Helagrod, probably for Thorog. It's pretty common. It's actually on the server, speaking of the legendary server versus live server. This one has been having a little bit of surprising, I guess, amount of in-game activities going on. I've seen a lot of Thorog farms lately. I should have seen how many LOTRO points I started with. I think this opens an external window, so you all can't see, fortunately, but I'm at 10,748. Before this, I was probably close to 10,700 at the start. It's just very slow clicking. I feel like this is something so boring to watch, but that is what I'm doing. And normally I really don't remember actually ever having this issue at the skirmish camp, like clicking barter, that would actually have too many requests slow down. And this is something I need to do on all my characters. I can probably even get I have so many characters on the server. If I get like 20 LOTRO points, I actually probably would get a little bit more per each faction. That is, I would say at least 100 LOTRO points, depending on the character, maybe up to 200 LOTRO points, whatever reputation they have. Over 10 characters, maybe even 20 characters split between 2 servers. That would really add up. One of the benefits of playing a ton of alts, so this one actually did end up with extra on, and I'll just pass that actually to an alt. So we have Wardens of Numenos next. That one I'm only acquaintance, so I'll get, I think, a few chunks of LOTRO points from all those. I feel like I'm clicking that too fast. There we go. Finally said too many requests slow down. But if anybody wants to see something or talk about anything, you all can let me know. Otherwise I will sit here clicking, trying to think of things. I guess I can just temporarily at least think about some future stuff with this character, with this progression group, and with streaming all that. So I think we're, hello Dingerin, you said you love the stream so far. I am glad you do, with all the slow clicking. I don't even know if the screen, oh, I was going to say, I don't know if the screen is moving, but there is a dwarf at least doing something there in the background. But with this specific progression group, I think when we go into Mirkwood, I think we'll do that at the start of next year at some point. When we do that, I do plan to quest in all of Mirkwood. So we'll do the dungeons and instances like normal, but I also do want to quest in all of Mirkwood. I just don't know 100% that will be this character. It probably would be. I just feel like leveling a Beorning at Mirkwood is really weird. I don't know why, but it's just a weird combination to me. But I think I will actually organize it, like number the videos, number the streams, and give it like a mini series title so people actually know what is going on with that maybe a little bit better. Because one thing I've run into with the Moria ones is still have a few more to get. I think a little over 10, maybe 15. Hello Vukason, you asked why I am not playing WoW. And that's because, first of all, it's a kin event, like a guild event night in Lord of the Rings Online with my kin on Anor, and I felt like playing LOTRO. I like playing LOTRO. It's also the main game on my channel. I know I've done WoW a little bit more lately, and I still plan to do it at least weekly on Wednesdays, and maybe even a little bit more often than that, depending on exactly what is going on, but That is why I'm not playing it right now. Next one we have is Lothlorien. So that is going to be the Lothlorien of Foreshell. And this one's really going to take a long time since I'm an outsider. I'm not even like neutral with them. Or maybe outsider is neutral. We'll see what comes after outsider, after I click these a bunch. Okay, let's see what that gets me. That gets me 2 neutral. I wonder if that gives any LOTRO points. Probably not. We'll see if something comes up down in the chat box. But yeah, with Mirkwood, I think that's what will be going on. I'm pretty excited to eventually get to Mirkwood. So now I upgraded my Lothlorien of Foreshell to Acquaintance. I think if I remember correctly, that one will give me 5 LOTRO points. Then the next one will give 10. The one after that will give 15. So you actually get 30 total. Wait, did I say that right? You get 5, 10, 15. So you get 30 plus 20. So you get 50 total LOTRO points per faction, I think, starting at neutral. Because there's friend, well, acquaintance, friend, ally, then kindred. So there's 4. Anyway, that is why I'm doing this and why I'm just clicking these things very boringly. How far along do y'all think you are? So it sounds like I just asked how far along they were with their 3-man, and it sounds like they still have a bit to go. They're doing the long one, the mirror holes, I think, which is quite lengthy. I really don't know why this has too many requests loadout. It keeps bothering me every once in a while just because I've never had this issue, as I've repeatedly said. Did I skip Bane? No, I did Bane of Numenor. What was that even? I forgot what that was. That was Wardens of Numenos. After this, I still actually have 2 more to do. The first stage relic, they're yellow, but they give the same amount of reputation as the purple ones here. I gotta be, well, I was thinking I gotta be getting close, but I'm only a friend with Lothlorien of Foreshell just because I need so many of these. I'm actually seeing my marks go down by a decent chunk. I went down at least 4,000 just from these Lothos Lewistons. Now I'm ally, so I don't have that many more to get. Just need 11 more real quick. At least as quick as it lets me click. Let's see how many LOTRO points I have for a little bit of a breakup with this. So I have already increased my LOTRO points by, I actually forgot what I started with, but by an amount. Like 170-ish, I think, throughout all this. I'm also thinking in the future, so I'll probably have all this in a proper channel update. Where's the Matham? There they are. So I even needed to get acquaintance with them still. In a future channel update, I'll probably have an outlook for late 2020 to early 2021. I would have liked to do that this weekend. I actually have made basically no progress with videos this weekend. I've just been busy. I was hoping to have a video tomorrow. If there's time, I could consider editing that. Tonight. It just take a little bit of extra editing time because of what it is. Basically getting the background gameplay that I usually have in my commentaries, but yeah, hopefully I will still have a video tomorrow. And I guess to think about this stream, I probably would have started it like half an hour later, so probably would wouldn't have started it yet and probably would have started it more closer to when I had it scheduled for 7 p.m. my time, so in like 15 minutes. Had I known that they were going to continue with the 3-man, but it is okay. It just means I'm stuck here clicking these for a while, and I'll get a few more, and then I should be able to click that. And we got too many requests slow down, so then I'll use them, and probably need about 30 more. I don't know if I actually need that many, but yeah, we'll keep going. The old gang, I think, if I remember correctly, that one you actually have to do on your own. You have to do out on the landscape. Same with the Galadrim's Lothlorien. And I think they stopped having rep items after Moria. So didn't Jaren, the only rep you've bothered to... Oh, never bothered to raise above friend is 4. So I was like, that would have been crazy if it's the only one you did bother to raise above friend. Oh, I still need a few more. I was hoping 30-ish would be enough for the Meathams. But yeah, Forestial, I think I did on my Runekeeper on the server. I don't know if I... Actually, this is my Warden I leveled. I tried to get Reputation, I think, on my Runekeeper, but I didn't really barter for all these. I don't think I had all the marks back then that I do now. But we got one more done. I think we just have one more to do, and I'll go ahead and finish it out. I thought about taking a break with this once I got partway through, but the Egglane and the Old Gang are 2 I would need to do on my own. I don't even remember exactly where they are. The Old Gang's the one in the Rift of Mirror's Gashu, and Egglane, I think, is the one in the Lonelands at Garthagar 1. It sounds like they're getting close to the last boss. And Robert, you asked if I'm going to make WoW gameplay videos for Shadowlands, and actually that's something I do have to think about with my channel. I probably will. So the thing with those gameplay videos is it's something I started doing like when my channel was new, because it's something I noticed there wasn't much of. Like whenever I would search gameplay for a game, I got bothered by people talking over it. I just wanted to see and listen to what it sounded like. So that's why I started making those. It's just a little bit weird for people like subscribers and stuff that like regularly watch my commentary and streams and that type of stuff, where I actually like talk over it and talk about things. But yeah, I probably will do one. We'll do a set of those for each class. I'm actually glad somebody asked about that, because I always wonder how helpful people find those. Alright, we're at Ally with Thorin's Hall, so a little bit more. These ones actually cost 44 marks. That's a relatively large amount, of course, not anything compared to what I have. But yeah, the good news again is the people running the 3-mans that I will be joining up with later, it sounds like they're on the last boss of the Mirror Halls, and then we'll probably run a 6-man after that. Not Dar Narbugud. I keep mentioning that because that's, I know the title, I changed it, but in the description and thumbnail I know it said Dar Narbugud. Alright, let's see what third it gives me. Probably 10 to 15 more, if I had to guess. Got too many requests slow down, so I'll go ahead and click them and try. Let's see, about, I think I need 3,200, like 5 more. Okay, so Robert, you said you do the same, and now that there's not updated videos, it's hard to find gameplay for a class you're interested in. Yeah, I feel like comparing WoW and LOTRO between those two, kind of the 2 main games I've ever done, with that, I don't think I needed 10. I think I needed like 5, I mentioned. Yeah, just took 5 of those. But we finally got all the reputations done. I got probably a lot of LOTRO points for that, and of course got the general deeds done. But if I do that on all my characters, basically like all 15 characters I have on Anor and then all 15 characters I have on Arkenstone, it'll add up quite a bit and be quite useful. Again, need to do that before update 28.2 comes out. But it's, yeah, it is definitely good to know, Robert, that you find those helpful and you're looking for a class you're interested in. So with WoW, I know the classes change pretty frequently, how they actually play. And I know in Shadowlands particularly, there are a lot of changes from what I have played of the classes and seen. And also with LOTRO, I think it's a little bit slower. Usually they look the same for the most part, there are some minor changes, but I still think it's good to get those nice and updated. Basically try to keep as much up-to-date content. That's why I do it every year. That's why I started doing it every year. Okay. So we got the reputation done. And what I think I'm going to do next in general on this character is maybe start getting him close to Mirkwood. I'm basically done with everything I need to do in Moria, but I do eventually want to start him on Mirkwood. It's something I consider doing like during these streams, which I guess I still could. But it sounds like they will actually be ready to join the group soon. Actually, what I can do is go maybe on my captain again. Was it my captain? Or actually one of my lore masters. I should actually look at them, see if they're at all settled. And hello, Dawn White. Unfortunately, it's not going all that exciting right now, but we'll be getting into the actual group content in a minute. I basically started this stream almost half an hour ago and haven't done hardly anything. I was basically spending most of the time bartering for reputation items. So what character I wanted to check out? So I have my 2 lore masters. I think this one's actually a little bit better built, but has some gear issues basically. Maybe we'll log in. Usually the bar, this is the issue I usually have when loading, is the bar goes by quick. Then you think you'll be loaded in it, and then that never happens. So this character was actually doing missions. I did not know I got a lore master to do missions on. I honestly don't remember actually doing that on this character, but I completed one of the dailies worth of missions even. Alright, so my inventory is also very full on this character. I don't know, he has some crafting stuff. Probably just gathering and getting those professions up there, up to Supreme. And Dawn White, you said you found the LOTRO Basics website, and you said thanks for doing that. Well, I'm glad you seem to like it. I always wonder with that site, in particularly the series, I based that off an old YouTube series, the name. That's how I made the website to start, and that's how it's got its name. And when I decided to go keep it at LOTRO Basics and just use the website for what it's used now, I don't even know what to send to this character. I'm wandering very aimlessly, so maybe we'll get off this one. Didn't really find much good on this character. Maybe I'll go with my other lore master. So this lore master is the one that I did the Nor LM leveling series on when the servers launched. Maybe once again this is I feel like I'm about to be done loading and then just have this delay, but yeah, this character, oh yeah, I remember how he got here. So we had a Ken event last week, I think. That's probably why I didn't stream last Sunday evening, is it was our Ken 2nd anniversary actually. So I believe I can show something relating to that. Let me see what that does. Okay, that is the correct one. So I have a couple things that I can show you all real quick. I have posted them in various places, on Twitter and Reddit, a couple of these, but let's see, I have to find this stuff. So let's see how this plays. This is very weird, but this is basically a video from our anniversary event. We were racing mounts around Thorin's Hall Inn, which I think you used to not be able to use mounts in that area. So that was just something from that. I don't know if there's actually anything else for me to show as far as that goes, but this just reminded me of that. Anyway, that is what was going on with this character. Actually wonder, he has a few of the Fall Festival events done, it looks like, but doesn't have many Fall Festival tokens either. But this character, if I actually got him back, I don't know what his deed progress is. Okay, so he has to use just a couple of these deeds, a little bit more. Actually, not all that many. And then he'll be done with his class deeds after that. But otherwise, I think he's set up pretty decently for where he is. He was just kind of off questing in Moria, but I thought about bringing this character back, maybe getting him up to Mirkwood. I don't know, like keeping him in the series. Like continuing the Nor LM series, since that was like basically took year-and-a-half break from it. I think even longer, maybe than a 2-year break since I last did an episode of that. So that would be a little bit weird, but yeah, so Dinjarin, you said you use a few plugins for LOTRO 2 and you think that LOTRO Basics helped you to use some of them easier. Okay, I might have had something with plugins in there. I'm not sure I did. LOTRO Interface, I think that place has all the plugins and has good instructions on that. Oh, I really am. I'm just like, basically don't know what to actually do in the game while waiting, so I really am just running around doing nothing, and it feels very weird. Oh, I got the Iron Garrison Guards done. That was a random thing. I did actually get progress on something, at least. Let's take this character back to Moria, maybe. How did I get the one bag plugin to work, you're asking, Dawn? And this is not actually a plugin. If you go to edit mode on your inventory, you can drag all these little slots into a single bag. So I just drag them all to bag 1, like if they were like that. Move them all to bag 1, and that is how that works. So you can just use it with the in-game interface. I feel like if I played this character, I would need to get him a different outfit set up. I have no idea why that doesn't have his shoes and stuff equipped. This one's okay. It's just I actually use this, I think, on a Warden, oddly enough. But anyway, we can lock off this character. Once again, just bouncing around a lot. Robert, you asked if I play LOTRO more than any other MMO, and that would probably be true. I used to play, and at some periods, oops, I thought I locked off. Here we go. I used to play some, I should get my hunter, probably play my hunter some in the future. I have all these characters like that I want to play, but just some things I want to get settled on them. Also my Guardian, I actually really like my Guardian, but that's another one I haven't played all that frequently. Okay, let's go ahead and get back on my Beorning though. But yeah, I play LOTRO at the moment more than any other MMO, and I think for the past couple years that has been true. Actually, there was a period when I wasn't able to make videos. I probably would have even made videos with Classic WoW, but I played Classic WoW more than LOTRO. Basically took a break from LOTRO for half a year, almost a year. Actually quite a bit over half a year, but yeah, almost a year I wasn't playing LOTRO. When I wasn't able to make videos, I lost motivation to play LOTRO. Yeah, I guess this character, I will send all his reputation stuff. I know I'm playing my Runekeeper a little bit more frequently, so I'll send all my rep stuff to him to get that. It sounds like they defeated the last boss of the 3-man instance, so it is actually getting close to 7 o'clock when I originally had this stream scheduled. Again, I started early because the event started early, but then they did a 3-man, and that was full, and because I was late from when it was actually scheduled rather than when I thought it was scheduled, I said they could finish that because I had things to do and it let me get settled on this character, but then I just like aimlessly walked around instead of actually being productive. But yeah, it sounds like we're about to get going with some content. I think I did want to actually move this character though, maybe move him to Karis Galadin at least. I could do Moria or Lothlorien stuff on him. Like if I ever have extra time. Oh, so the LOTRO Compendium, I remember hearing about that and I probably at some point was familiar with it a little bit more, but yeah, I think that is also good for stuff. In Star Wars Galaxies, I never actually played that. Some of my friends did, and I just never was interested in it, unfortunately. I think I need to go to first hall. So we're doing a 6-man. Sounds like we're doing Scumfill. We do this one pretty frequently. I think there's a lot of good deeds there. So let's see. Instances, Moria. I want to see if I probably still do have stuff in Scumfill. There's Philgushin. Here's Scumfill, so I do still have a deed in Scumfill. I probably will be, but I'm open to doing anything.
Since the overthrow of Moria, the orcs have disposed of their dead in the great chasm they call Spoonfield. Over the ages...
So I got this nice food since I thought we were doing Dar Narbugud. I actually didn't do this for it, but I got this nice food ready, which would have been nice for that. Help my morale a little bit since it's so low. We actually have some people, the hunter and the captain in this group, and even the other Beorning. We usually run with a lot squishier people with a lot less morale, so this should be interesting. Alright, do you have your captain buff? I'm just trying to hit 20k morale, but not quite yet. Oh, that's the fall festival outfit, I think, on that dwarf. I did not recognize that outfit, but the blue looks interesting, looks kind of thematic for this. Anyway, that was yeah, that's what I was just going back to look at. And Dawn, wait, you said you're working on a lore master and you can't wait to get to Moria again. Yeah, Moria is a fun place. I need to, at some point, with all these other things I want to do in LOTRO, I do want to level, like, quest in the northern part of Moria. It's been a while since I've done that section. I have done the southern section more recently, but I never quite got to doing that zone in the north, like the crossroads. I really don't remember the name of it, but let's see, go to Moria. Yeah, Durin's Way, that is the name of it. Chamber of the Crossroads is the first little town, but I need to do that, and I think Nud Malek is one I haven't done as well. Maybe even Foundations of Stone. I've done like half of that, I think. But anyway, we can get back to the instance and not have them wait on me doing nothing. I did not mean to use my big AoE force taunt. I actually don't know who's on healing. It looks like the Runekeeper is. If the captain was, I don't think the captain would have really bad heals, but it'd just be a little bit more risky doing these large pulls, basically. I think the captain actually has some aggro and stuff. There we go. And then Jaren, you said that you have a level 42 captain who is a few levels away from Moria. You're very ambitious, only like 3 levels away from Moria. Not that I would recommend that. I really like the zones right before Moria, so I usually would end up going into Moria pretty late. Well, I'm having trouble getting aggro on this guy. There we go. I thought I pulled this group. I guess I did not, because I actually did think I pulled this group the whole time. Would have been a pretty tough fight if I did. But yeah, Moria's, I think it's a interesting area. This is a really gross type instance, but I find the structure, the flow of the instance fun, even if I guess actually killing these gross things is a good thing compared to them just staying here, but yeah, I think the flow of the instances and flow of the content is pretty good nowadays. When I first did it, of course I didn't like Moria. I always say that, it seems like, but I didn't like Moria the first time I did it. I always tried to avoid it, mainly because I died a lot, but I think even the flow was maybe okay back then. I really like the northern zone, once again, Durin's Way, the one I haven't done in a long while. I remember liking that zone relative to everything else I did in Moria on my first few characters. I should be tracking the progress of my deeds a little bit. It looks like I don't need these little ones. I guess I got all the Grodbog. I know I got all the spiders in here as well. So maybe this will be a good completion run. I did see, I've been missing that one the whole time. There we go, not anymore. I did not realize I didn't have one of the mobs aggro to me that whole time. And we got a bunch of these loose little workers. Gotta take care of those. I really like having the dual wield. I've only played this character a couple times now when I've actually had the dual wield weapons, but I prefer it a lot more in main form than the two-handed weapon. Of course, in bear form that means my damage is a little bit weaker, but as a tank I make better use of the extra stats that the offhand provides. And even healing, that would be mostly true. I even think a healing Beorning, they would actually not even use a LI one-hander. At this level it doesn't matter too much, we're just level 16. Of course this content is fairly easy. I'd say especially as our group is actually getting a little bit better geared, it's even easier than it used to be. So it looks like we're good to go. So these guys are a little bit annoying to round up, but usually they'll eventually run around and pick me up. Rather, eventually I run around and I'll pick them up. This one I do need to taunt. They have a corruption. Probably needs to be removed. Let's see, yeah, that heals them. Oops, I thought I just used my corruption removal. I did, but he's an invalid target. He is burrowed. My morale is going down. And one of the reasons I really like low-level group content in LOTRO is I don't really have to worry about... I have to maybe worry a little bit about my gear and how my character is built, but I don't have to be worried about how many virtues, how high level my virtues are, because they are helpful. Like, all this stuff is helpful, I should say, before I even get started on all that. Looks like the other Beorning has aggro. But it just doesn't feel as important to have that stuff up as like level 130, and even the level caps before 130. It's just such a nice thing, and why one of the reasons I always like it, just something I'm thinking about right now. Even at level 60 I don't have to care about my gear all that much. Of course it's nice getting upgraded gear and whatever, but it's not like a big concern. Even if getting the rewards during it is nice, which is an important thing I think for group content or end game content, if you could call this that. Oh, we should probably... I think there's a chest we can loot. Probably be useful. Do we need to loot the chest? Alright, so has it always been like that? Huh. I honestly don't remember us ever going this way, but maybe it has been that way. It could be the other side. It's like that. I just thought we always ran up the hill and that thing was open, but also I really don't remember this actually having to defeat mobs before the last boss, or the last boss of the wing, but I could just be misremembering somehow, even though we've done this instance so many times with this group recently. I should actually remember it. Try to keep myself at least in the captain buff area. It's a pretty strong buff. I have so many buffs. I actually have so many buffs that they're going below the captain's character portrait on my UI screen there. I have over 4 full rows. At least I used to have over 4 full rows of buffs. These guys really last a long time and have a bunch of ads. It's fun if you have AoE. Of course, as a tank I have AoE, but there's also these little ones that keep getting loose. But we have like the hunter, who's probably more focused on single target. And then the Runekeeper is healing. The other DPS is a Beorning, and they can have good burst AoE, especially if you use actually see them mainly staying in mere form, which is okay, but if you use Relentless Maul after using Ferocious Roar, I think the name of it is. Yeah, if you use Relentless Maul right after using Ferocious Roar in the red line, you'll get a lot of burst AoE damage, though all the hits with it will crit, which is nice. But otherwise they don't have much AoE, and it's somewhat slow in the red line. So we just don't have much AoE overall. Is there a dead goblin here? I think this is a dead goblin on a pile of filth and bones. That's why this instance really is gross. I guess we can't see the description, but when we teleport in, I remember reading the description once on one of these streams and actually basically said how gross it was. Okay, so I think we're good to go. I don't remember the exact mechanics of this boss, but one of them drains power, and I'm guessing this one might. And they also, I think, both have ads that need to be dealt with. And Robert, you asked us if Hunter is similar to WoW's Hunter. There are some similarities, but with pets and stuff, they are not similar. They're just ranged and use bows. That's the closest they are to WoW's Hunter. So they do not have pets. There's actually the Hunter there, the one in the reddish pink shirt and the blue jeans. As odd of an outfit as that is for a LOTRO, but yeah, that Hunter just like shooting things with arrows. I got 10 LOTRO points for something. We were talking about that. So I got Deep Claw Slayer done, so that's one of the Ds we got progress for. So that's nice. I'm kind of hoping we usually run a couple things. I think we might only have like half an hour after this instance. I don't even know, since technically the event started over an hour ago, how much longer. We'll go with the group stuff. I'll probably play this character a little bit more after that. Oh, we're still in combat with something. Not being a good tank here. And another one. There we go. Now I can loot. Ornate copper sphere. If only, I don't think I've ever seen that one, but if only I didn't need to have my XP disabled. There's a Lore Master's Book of the Second Age. We don't actually have a Lore Master in the group, so I'll roll that with a chance to get on my... Right, so let's look at what deeds I have here real quick. So I have Kurgrim. The Kurgrim are those big ones. There aren't that many of them. I think that's why I'm such slow progress on the advanced deed for that. But it looks like to be the big thing in here. I have a bunch in Filgashen, even Forgotten Treasury. I might be able to solo. That would actually be tough, but I could try soloing Forgotten Treasury at some point. Oh, they're the one I need. So it's kind of random which mobs actually stay alive, because we have like the Cave Claws and Godbrog and Kurgrim fighting each other. So when you pull a group, some of them will just randomly die, basically. So it's kind of RNG which one you get, and for the deed I needed the ones that died during that pull. Wow, the captain's taking a lot of damage. I'm going to actually heal him. And Robert, you said the class I'm playing is similar to Druid, so yeah, I am playing the Beorning, and they can shapeshift into a bear, kinda obviously. So that's about as close as they are to Beorning. They use a rage, like, they're the only class to have this, but it's called, I don't even know what it's called. Wrath. Can't believe I forgot the name of that, but they use Wrath, which is kind of like Rage in WoW, which is what bear druids use. But they're a little bit different, that I usually shapeshift in and out during combat, and it's also the same with all three specs. They have a healing spec, a DPS spec, and a tanking spec, and in all three specs you'll be shifting between the two. As a tank spec, you usually want to stay in bear form longer. You have some valuable things, of course, in man form that I switch for. You have, like, Biting Edge is a good AoE, and it's a force taunt with the trait I have for it, which is kind of like a talent to compare it to WoW. And then I also have a defensive buff and a few other utility things I can use in man form, but otherwise I want to stay in bear form. And then even the healing spec, they have some heals in the bear form in the form of, like, roars, and also some heals in man form. And then the DPS spec switches between the two. They have some really strong attacks in bear form, but most of the time spend in man form, actually. I guess we can get these. There aren't any Kurgrim here. Those are the ones we need that I just mentioned, but... yeah, I think some people in the group, they might still need, like, the little Grodbogs, which is what these all are. And hello, Mike Curtis. But yeah, these pulls are unfortunately just a mess with all the ranged and even the burrowers and all that. Kind of hard to get a nice big organized pull that I would like to do, kind of ideally would like to do. So there are some Kurgrim back there that we could potentially get. And we got one Kurgrim, at least they're the one, again, that I need the deed. I think a lot of people in the group need the deed for. I need like 40 of them. We'll need 40 of them after the single Kurgrim. Alright, use my big AoE force taunt. Okay, we can go ahead and pull more. That fight was getting a little bit boring. I'm going to have my big force taunt again. I see everybody, a lot of other people have aggro just from all the little ones that are being summoned during this, the little Grodbog workers here. So it's just a big mess of a fight. But that's part of the fun, I think, with this instance, that it's so much of a mess. As long as, it's basically as long as the other people in the group aren't having like an actual hard time. And they're all doing okay. All the fun, AoE to me is fun at least. See the captain, he's taking a lot of damage. I have sacrifice, which can help a little bit with that, but that redirects, I think, like 30% of the damage they take back to myself. We just have really low damage and low AoE damage, I think, right now. So it just takes like very long for this fight. Here we go, we finally got a lot of them. We got a lot of killing blows in those few seconds. So I think we head out, reset, and then we'll run it again, but we run the different wing. So there are 3 wings with us. There's the right wing and the left wing, and we just did the right wing. So now we come back and do the left wing, and then if it's your first time running that, you have to do both of those wings, and then you unlock the 3rd wing. But because we as a group already have enough people that have unlocked the 3rd wing, you just really need one person to have that unlocked, but the 3rd wing's at the bottom, and it's full of spiders. So on our second run, usually we get the left wing now, and then we will get the bottom wing at the same time. So that's how that works. So we're about to get started with Scumfill. Oh, I meant to read the description of that. I guess I still could. I can go back out real quick just because I mentioned it earlier. So encounter travel. So basically the grossness of it. It says over the ages, the rotting piles of carcasses and filth that has accumulated there has also attracted many foul and disgusting creatures from the vile Gredbog, and the scavenging Kurgrim. So that's what's going on, why this is such a gross place. So we're doing the left wing now. We do still have to kill some of the trash mobs. They all reset, but we need them for deeds, and I would say XP, but we aren't actually getting that. We're getting loot, I suppose, and then some people might need deeds. Two Kurgrim here. So when we go to, wait. So they're talking about somebody that played with a kinship in us. Did he have a character called Ugg? I don't know. Wow, I did not know that was actually Tube the whole time. So I'm familiar with that player. So that's kind of funny. There's a player on Arkenstone that I saw a lot, especially during like update 18 era when I started playing a lot more. So he was actually in the kin, but I never had the connection. They was that player that I recognized from Arkenstone, the other server I play on, the regular server I played on. But yeah, that's kind of funny, like after all these years. The person on Anor that we're talking about, I don't think he hasn't been on in a long while, but yeah, that's what that was all about, if anybody is wondering. Of course, with the, I usually mention this, but with the kin chat, we're in Discord, so I'm like listening to them, but they're not actually played back on the stream, and I'm on like push to talk with them. I feel like I'm in man form a lot more than I usually am right now. I don't know if it's because I'm dual wield, so it's a little bit nice to be in man form sometimes. I actually don't know what's going on with this Kurgrim Summoner. It seems to have spawned twice back there, so I'm going to run through. Not sure. I know we can be a little bit squishy and can run into troubles, so I didn't quite want to pull that last group, but I think with the Kurgrim it's a little bit safer to kind of pull a lot more with this. It seems like the Grodbog, they summon all the little Grodbog workers and seem to have a lot more debuffs. We're getting a little bit of debuffs here, but we can try that. Hello, Nathan Philip Connors. Okay, these guys are actually having a lot of inductions. I stopped both of those. I don't know exactly what they do, but something I wasn't quite ready for with this. It seems like everybody else is getting hit with bad debuffs. But yeah, I got my big force taunt on everybody. They get AoE 1. Hello, Kika Gazumi. You asked if there's going to be an update to the blue/red warden guides, or is all that info in there still applicable? So most of the info I would say is applicable, but that's one of the ones with the warden I want to update blue and red, and also make a yellow line trait guide. So even though most of it might be okay still, I think there are a few updates that need to be made to it, especially with some of the changes that have happened with balances with the yellow line stuff, with the assailment stuff. Ooh, there's a lot of kid gloves here. And I am glad you love those guides and that they're very helpful. But yeah, I feel like also with all my old guides, they're like, I guess a slightly better like microphone setup and a little bit old, so I just feel like I need to update them in general, even if all the information would still be applicable. Maybe those ones would be like lower priority, but I just think it'd be good to update them anyway to get newer versions out. And of course, there are also always like minor changes with the class that might need to be recovered or retouched up on. And even as I play them more, I like to make guides when I feel like I'm comfortable to actually make a guide on them. But I still might actually learn something as I do play these classes more. Usually when I'm about to make a guide for a class though, I like to play it. I like to play it a lot leading up to that, just to make sure I'm familiar with the gameplay and the type of stuff I usually cover in those guides. And you asked if yellow is any good for leveling or you should stick to red/blue. So yellow is actually pretty good for leveling. I don't know exactly what level it kind of might seem really efficient. So you get the skill called Ranged Resounding Challenge / Resounding Challenge, a gambit. Rather, it is built 3-2-3-1, and in the range stance it gives a strong damage over time. And if you're playing in the yellow line, you can get a trait called Barbed Javelins, I think, that will make your javelin gambits bleed the enemy once you get that, all the ranks in that. So that can be good for damage, and also pulling things at range. That does a lot of damage over time, Range Resounding Challenge. So it's good for that. And Kika Gazumi, thank you very much for the $10 super chat. I really do appreciate that. And you said on that again, loving the guides, and thank you for putting the time and effort into making them. So I'm really glad you like them, and thank you very much for the tip there. That is helpful in my content creation. So all that type of stuff goes back into the content. So one thing I'm going to do real quick, I'm just personally curious on, is checking up here. Okay, so yeah, that actually doesn't lead anywhere. I think there's a class quest up there, but there we go. I actually need to loot the chest still. But yeah, with the yellow line warden, that's why it could be good for leveling. Also, people don't run this for end game, but there's a trait called Shattered Javelins that I think requires you to get the Barbed Javelins. I'm just basing these names off memory, but yeah, the Shattered Javelin ones will do some burst damage if you stack 2 of the same javelin gambit bleeds on an enemy, so that can be good for solo to kill things, actually get burst damage and upfront damage on the warden, who, while leveling, they do decent damage, of course, but a lot of it is based on damage over time, so you can have some decent range damage and upfront damage playing the yellow line. I did that a lot with Louisden, my high-level warden, on Arkenstone. That is a long stun. Wow. There we go, finally getting out of it. Guess they were fortunate to have the other Beorning there, because I probably should have put something in the Fellowship maneuver, but I was trying to still get aggro on this big, ugly boss. I think this Grodbog could fit me, this giant bear, into its stomach. Okay, so I used all of my wrath real quick. Yeah, I just think this group doesn't have AoE damage, because we actually have, it seems like, decent single target damage compared to some other times we've run this. We seem to be getting the bosses down quickly, but just not much AoE. Everybody's taking a lot of damage. Force taunted everything to try to make sure I have aggro, but yeah, they're just a bunch of little Grodbogs that I'm trying to keep track of. I don't see anything big. Actually, there is one big one. Oh, actually, it's even a non-signature one, the big Grodbog defender there. But yeah, I hope that helped answer your question. Again, thank you for the super chat, Kika Kizumi. You'll do not want that. It's light armor, but it's just interesting because it had all that vitality. I will pass on that, pass on the burglar, and once again there's a lore master's book that I will roll on, since we saw I have a couple lore masters that could actually make use of that. It's a little bit odd with the level 61 lore master I made him as just somebody to level a little bit passively to first off test a couple things out, and my kin actually did have a progression group. I actually thought about joining that a little bit on my lore master, but we actually do have a couple other options for tanking, but just never got around to really being able to join on the lore master. Okay, so it takes 21 points to get Shattered Javelin, so that's like, yeah, that might be level 42 or so roughly. You could get that a little bit earlier or a little bit later, depending exactly how many class deeds you get done and how many class trait points you get from those. So there's the one from Elrond, I think, that you can get at level 38 that might let you get it earlier, or if you just go by level, I think it might be a little bit closer to 50. But as long as you have range resounding challenge by that point, that's the important. You had 3 of them. 3 Kurgrim here. It's going to be really helpful for the deed since I'll be at 32 after this pull. That's a big thing we all need that I mentioned throughout this. They're all doing inductions. Now I have all the little things. I actually didn't see anything attacking the healer. That was kind of surprising. The healer is the Runekeeper, the one in the fall festival outfit and hat. I don't even know what all their inductions do. I just know they seem to be constantly spamming inductions, a different Grodbog and Kurgrim. So I actually have a level 20-ish Warden. That would be my lowest level Warden. I also do have something, I forgot I have one that's 30 in their 30s on the Landreval server. So that would actually be a class. I would want to play those 2 characters to maybe test Yellow Line real quick. Because at very low levels, I even play Yellow Line before I get Surety of Death. At level 16, I think, is when you get that, just because you get more upfront damage, and there's just not much else for the Warden at that low level. Do we want all the groups, or just the Kurgrim ones? Okay. So it sounds like we will get all the groups. That was all at once, right? All at once? Oh, did we? Actually, don't remember pulling a Hive Defender, but maybe I did. Oh, these are all Hive Defenders. That would explain it. I wonder, that one's kind of stuck back there, but I'll stay in the Captain buff area. Okay, yeah, I think I just need the Kurgrim at this point. Still almost 30 of them. Yeah, that's one thing to consider with the Javelin, with the Yellow Line Warden, or just using the range stance in general, is you actually have to keep your Javelin updated and not just use it for stats. Unlike kind of what you would usually do if you maybe play Red Line or Blue Line. Usually the Javelin would just be for stats, or if it's a legendary item Javelin, just for the legacies. And even the relics, all the stats it provides from those, rather than thinking directly about the damage. Oh, I thought you meant the new group. I didn't even know there was one still fighting us. I forgot about this Grodbog Defender. Somebody said there was still one behind us, so I assumed he wanted me to get that one. But I didn't actually know there was still one fighting us. I'll go ahead and focus on this one. They probably have that one decently taken care of. I really wish if Redline Beorning had the same gameplay flow as Blueline Beorning, like the DPS spec for the bears, I would play my Beornings a lot more. But if I just think about this, if I played this on the landscape, it wouldn't be like extremely slow, but it'd be fairly slow to play the tank spec on landscape. I just wouldn't do as much damage as I could in the red line, but the red line to me is just a lot more boring with the actual gameplay it provides. So, Kika, you said you tried a Warden for leveling, but while Blue Line... Okay, so while Blue Line Hunter is easy, it's very boring. So then you tried out a Warden for leveling. Yeah, the Hunter, that's kind of one of those classes to me that I think is kind of middle of the pack to me, because it's something that's fun, but after a while it just gets like boring if I keep on playing it. That's why I find also the yellow line most fun on the Hunter, just because it's the most interesting. It's not like the blue line, you have a bunch of focus consumers and all that, and you're always on the move. The red line's a little bit more steady, but it's still using all those things, like the regular range stuff that a Hunter does. But I think the yellow line provides the most interesting because it has traps, damage over time, and just a bunch of different things. Okay, so we basically, all these spiders will just respawn, so we basically pull a bunch of them. So we gotta basically stay on the move. Usually I think we go to around here, and I have a good force taunt that actually doesn't have a limited number of targets, so it can hit everything. Relentless doesn't say it has a maximum target number like most AoEs, but I think it technically has 10 targets at max. I just have to watch my health. And the Hunter's health, that's actually getting a little bit low. I'm back to having almost 5 full rows of buffs. Wonder if I could actually ever get 6 rows of buffs. With the captain, myself, and the Runekeeper heals, the heal over times from the Runekeeper count up buffs. We even have, I don't know, I just have a few various buffs on this character as well from different like XP things, XP Disabler, XP Increaser, and all that. And Hunsu, you said you tried Redline Beorning and got bored with no ability suppressed. That's the exact way I feel about it. And you says man form is a lot more fun, but not optimal. So man form's actually pretty good if you dual wield. You do have some strong attacks in the bear form, but if I play Redline on my Beorning, I'm actually in man form more than bear form, which is annoying. But in man form, there's only like 3 abilities even on the, or 4 abilities on the red line, so it's just not that much. And that's yeah, just one of the problems with it, I think. Okay, I might wait to pull the boss. Normally I would be go ahead and pulling the boss, but I think he does some knockbacks that it'd be good for people to get set up first. Alright, sounds like we're good to get the boss. So yeah, the boss throws you. Throws you way over. So I usually try to face him away from the group, but I'm trying to get close enough and then spin around one to use my AoE taunt. I think there's another one I'm missing. I either have to try to tab target it or zoom my camera to where I can actually hit him. And yeah, Nathan, I agree. Also with you, Redline could use a couple Wrath Spenders, and Execute is not worth picking as a trait, and that's a problem as well, because it's supposed to be like some big finisher, and it's not strong enough. I'm going to use Sacrifice on the Hunter, and hopefully try to keep them alive. And use my big AoE Force Taunt, so hopefully that helps with my group. I'm actually supposed to be tanking, I wasn't even tanking anything there. I think we got a couple of respawns that had us. As I mentioned, the spiders respawn throughout this, like all the ones back there we already killed are respawning. So I'm actually in a negative effect area. I don't know exactly what it does, but I'm in a good spot to use Relentless, so I want to go ahead and use that. As long as we're not dying, should be safe to be in here for a little bit. So if Redline actually had a Wrathbender like Claw Swipe, that's why I mentioned the Blue Line gameplay being fun. If they had a Wrathbender like Claw Swipe, that would be fun to me. And at very high level with a lot of trait points, you can get Armor Crush, even though that's not like the most exciting thing. It's something a little bit of an extra ability. It's like 5... Wait, what was I saying? It's like a 15-second cooldown, I think? 16-second even. Oh, there's a little spider. I think I pulled one that was actually out of combat. Thinking that's what we were in combat with. And yeah, that's true with the party with DPS. I'm the same way actually with DPSing, except I don't ask why my face is on fire. I definitely know it's my fault, but as a DPS, my goal is actually to take aggro from the tank. That means I'm doing enough damage to be doing my job, but then that does run into the issue with taking all that damage. Envoy, not in mask. That's actually a... Wow, that is a nice helmet, except it's level 62. Now I just need Vitality Essence. Okay, so we are done with that, and I think we're going to take a short break and then run Hall of Crafting actually next. For some reason I was expecting there to be like a portal out of the instance. That's like what there is in WoW. I think some LOTRO instances have something like that sometimes. Oh, I think, yeah, a couple of them have things like that, but... Yeah, so the end game Redline Beorning, and that's also true, KKU, that's how you do establish dominance as a DPS. But with the Redline Beorning, I think my other spec is actually the Yellow Line, just because I don't play Redline. I don't even play Yellow Line, I just tank on this character. That's what I do, but... Yeah, this didn't really help, but Redline Beorning, you would pick hardly anything in the Redline. You basically put enough stuff in just to get to the bottom, and I don't even think you necessarily need to do that. You probably get some good stuff, but it might even be... I don't know, this is why it'd be useful to actually have a character with a 90-something trait points, because there are some other things you could consider for their... maybe utility benefits to actually get. So like the debilitating bees, that's a very strong trait in the Yellow Line, and that's actually why healing Beornings are often taken in raids, I think. So Bee Swarm, decreasing the mitigation by 15%, that is a lot, and increases the damage of your fellowship by a lot. Also Bee Swarm becomes AoE when you mark a target, I think. Let's test this with something. Here, we can go out here, there's some orcs, I believe, on the other side of Moria. Hopefully I can test this real quick. If not, I might play Yellow Line for one fight real quick at the start of the instance. Just because I want to make sure that's the way it works. I could probably find out. It's probably right here. Yeah, so here it is. So if Mark of Beorn is present on the enemy, Bee Swarm will now affect enemies around the target, and you get increased Bee Swarm damage. So you get all the AoE stuff going on with that. So one thing I considered, and I think I just talked about this, is I'm considering maybe doing these quests here on this character. So the main reason I would avoid doing these quests, maybe at least starting with them, is I probably won't get much of a chance to. Especially, I haven't talked about this too much, but in the upcoming couple of months, I probably won't be able to make as much content or stream as much. And that's also after these couple of months is when we'll be moving on to Mirkwood. So maybe I won't do that. But anyway, we can try to find an enemy to actually test this bee swarm thing. I've also heard the damage is bugged and it does like a ton of damage in the yellow line. I know the damage over time component of it is strong now. I don't know necessarily bugged strong, but I know it's just like strong in general. For the other specs as well. So hopefully we can get a good few orcs on us. There's actually a defiler here. He's going to be annoying as in he's going to be ranged. So let's put Mark of Beorn. Hopefully we can get the other melee guy. And then Beeswarm. Except I think he... Wait, does it just damage them in the area? Oh, it's just effect applies to enemies within 10 meters. So it doesn't actually affect them with the Beeswarm, but... Yeah. I forget what all these yellow skills here do. Okay, let's try to fight some stuff. I'm really not good with my keybinds on the yellow line, because it's like, I want to focus on my heals if I am playing yellow line Beorning. Ooh, I could just work on Slayer deeds in these random zones. That'll give me something a little bit to do. I could just kill a bunch of orcs here in Lothlorien for downtime. But anyway, we can go back to blue line. Actually, because... Well, I'll stay in blue line right now, because I'm curious if I actually... I know in AoE, if I pull a bunch, it won't go like super slowly in the blue line. It's just in red line, you can go about landscape so fast, even if it is boring to me. Actually, I am doing a surprising amount of damage for landscape, I will say. I did not know. The last time I played a blue line Beorning on landscape, they didn't do this much damage, but it's probably because I played my 105-ish Beorning, or 115-ish, I don't remember the exact level. I think 115. Wait, there we go. Yeah, that's usually what we do, like the 5-minute break. Sometimes I do need to get up and actually use the restroom or something during those, but not right now. So you're here again, Jimmy, right? Oh, I was asking if you were here. Okay, so when were we going to move to Mirkwood, do you think? Okay, so trying to find out maybe when we will move these characters to Mirkwood. Okay. So with Moria, we have done... In Moria, we have done all the instances. We haven't done Dar Narbugud. Again, that was the thumbnail and description for the stream, and that didn't happen, but yeah. Yeah, so Kika, you've been using the red Warden for leveling, but then when quests get you into signature areas, you switch to the blue line and you can spam a bunch of AoE light dots. Yeah, that's one of the nice things about the blue line Warden. It's just got more passive defenses, so you can do a bunch of AoE and things like that. Well, I still have quite a few deeds, but I would also be willing to switch to another character and stay in Moria for longer, to be honest. Yeah. So we're thinking about actually jumping to Moria to Isengard. Yep. And then on the way, so the Mirkwood instances are scalable, and with the progression group, our goal is to hit stuff that you have to run at a certain level and be on level when we run it. Yeah, kind of on Louisden once again, my level 120, well 130 now Warden. when I went through the Minas Morgul type content, I was able to just like not really care about what I pulled. I'd have little bit more healing. Yeah, I definitely have actually been wanting to, or thinking about doing another like progression group set, but I think I mentioned that in the forum post. But yeah, so yeah, that's actually one thing for people on the YouTube end of things. Of course, talking to my kin here, but so I've been thinking about with maybe on my channel having a new leveling series on actually a progression group. I'm going to leave the instance while we're still waiting for people to get back. This is one of the saddest things about the pocket item is you are not earning XP at this time. So I can actually earn a little bit more of XP. A little bit more XP. Oh, it's just waiting for more people to join. Okay, so it sounds like people are joining the instance again. We got a whole bunch of traveling out of that. And definitely with the Warden tank, they do a lot of damage for a tank, but they still do just overall decent damage. So this is Halls of Crafting. Last time we were here, the mobs were actually pretty tough. Normally this would be a good instance, I think, to pull a whole bunch of mobs, but this one could actually get us in trouble if I do that. So we'll see. The first group, they just do a lot of damage. That's what they did the last time we were here. Compared to the Moria stuff, this is technically a Lothlorien 6-man. Even though I think it's also technically located in Moria, but I think it's a part of the Lothlorien instance cluster. So that would be Scourge of Khazad-dûm here. So this is like Halls of Crafting melee Orc Slayer. So I think we are ready. But yeah, they just stack a ton of damage, so if the healer, especially with the Runekeeper healer, they need to get the heals over time. I don't think they were quite doing that, which is okay. It's just something that would help with the upfront damage because the Runekeeper doesn't have a bunch of emergency heals. Oh, I missed those morale taps. So the captain of this group, Jimmy, he played a Warden on Arkenstone who I played with. So that was his like first character, so he's talking about tanking this on a Warden, and with the morale taps, especially back in the day when they were a lot stronger than they are now. At this point, they're not too bad. They've been buffed a little from where they once were a couple of years ago, I think. But I don't think they're still as strong as they were way back in the day. Especially the type of like tanking style, whatever, the way they balance content around with tanking. Wait, what was that? What was the event? Oh. Oh, haven't done any of the books on this character. Sounds like they're thinking about doing for something in the group later, the Moria epics and the skirmishes. And one of these items, I know I have a couple pieces of gear randomly on my skill bar. Maybe explain that. I used one earlier, so it gives me like 200 morale. Not all that much, but something I can use every once in a while. I think it has a duration of 10 minutes and cooldown of 20 minutes. Oh, so I think I mentioned the trait point. Oh, actually, I forgot what I was just talking about with that, but did I mention a trait point, which that would be essentially a talent point? With the Moria epic, there is a trait point at the end of it that you could get from the skirmishes, and that's why I would do it. The Moria epic just takes a long time to go through. I think I did it once. And for me, at least, I like to do the book quests once. I don't mind that. I don't mind going through like all the zone story quests or whatever. But what bothers me about that is that trait points are a part of them. So on every alt I make, every character I make, I have to repeat that specific content instead of doing other things maybe to level. Because there are a lot of other things you can do to level in LOTRO, like festivals. Fall Festival is going on now. There's even epic battles, skirmishes, instances, group content like this. And just a lot of things like that you could do. You could do to level, but then you need to do that specific stuff to get a trait point. And that's what more bothers me with it on alts. And I think I talked about this in my endgame in LOTRO video, which by the way, that video unexpectedly blew up. Like of all my videos to like blow up in terms of my content is usually like if it gets over 2,000 views and keeps getting a few hundred views a day. That's a lot for my channel. So I didn't really expect it with that video, like all the videos I would have expected it on. But anyway, that was just one point I brought up. And because I like to play a lot of alts, I make, like you'll probably see, I make all these guides for different classes. I like to have all my classes decently set up. I don't even have to have them perfectly set up. You can spend all that time farming in-game content for that. But to have them decently set up, or a little bit better set up than I do, I would have to go through a lot of book quests and things like that. And yeah, the 2 epic battle trait points, those are also annoying. That I would once again have to do on like all my characters if I wanted each character to have that. So what I have kind of loosely decided in general, is I will keep so I have a bunch of level 115, 105 to 120 characters of each class. So I have all classes above 100. And I have like their imbued allies, I think on pretty much all of them set up, not high leveled. But I don't have trait points and I don't have their virtues up. So I've decided I'll probably keep those characters and use them for what I can use them for. But I basically probably won't ever do any endgame unless that stuff changes in LOTRO on a bunch of alts, which means I probably won't replay endgame too much. That's why I've almost stopped with War of Three Peaks on Louis, and I still want to get back actually to Elder Slade and finishing the questing there, maybe even running the group content a few more times, but I just don't think I can handle that anymore right now. So I'm sticking to lower level content, which I find more fun. Stuff like this progression group, and I think I mentioned, or we talked about, and next year we'd probably start another one to do like Angmar stuff on, and we'll move this one up to to level 75 to do Rise of Isengard stuff, which there's a ton of fun stuff there. I think Rise of Isengard, there's actually landscape stuff that I like at level 75. There is Limelight Gorge. I would love to go through that again. I did that almost solo on my Guardian. I got not quite halfway through, but I got a decent way through solo. It was going super slow though, so eventually I got a few people in my kin to join along, and it went by a lot quicker. But yeah, that's just a random, like for me at least, a random very fun landscape place to go through that has a bunch of nemesis. Nemesis? I think that's what it would be called, but a bunch of those and elite masters on the landscape. And I did not play Blue Line Guardian. It could have potentially been easier, even slower on Blue Line Guardian, but I usually did the nemesis on with the L line, and then the elite masters I was actually able to do red line on. I have my character like built for level 75 at least with a second age weapon, and I think all the barterable gear, it's super easy to get that. And even jewelry, I think from the skirmish camp and just from leveling, there's a lot of good jewelry through Moria. I think I have a lot of that in Mirkwood. I'll probably eventually replace the rings on this character and even Inadoy. And Nathan, you said progression group sounds fun, and if we are recruiting, we are not recruiting. I think we're, as far as the kinship goes, we're not extremely actively recruiting, but we take new members. So we're on the Norris server. The kinship is Mythol League, but it is open to people if they want to join. I think we usually go to the green block here. So he can do a lot of upfront damage, I think, real quick. So I'm going to actually put a few buffs up to start. Oh, and he has a couple ads. I kind of forgot about the ads. So force taunt them and just try to keep my defenses up. I'm even going to use a couple of cooldowns. I just remember this being an issue the last time we ran this. That's why I have all this stuff prepped. But I think we are good now. So we take him to the green box, and this one he gets increased tactical damage, which is kind of scary, but I guess he doesn't do that much tactical damage, so it's not that big of a deal. And if we switch boxes with him, I think it gives him even extra buffs. But it's a very quick and easy boss once we get through the first like burst of damage and all that. And then Kika, you asked if they will ever trim back the talent point amount as the level cap goes up, or do you think they just put more in each tree to prevent people from double/triple specking? I honestly don't know, but I feel like there are a few things that need a rework. Oh, if only this hammer, if only Beornings could use hammers, I would love that one compared to my axe. That would give a ton of vitality. That could even be close to enough to push me all the way up to 20k. Of course, right now I don't have my buffs that I'm even that close to 20k, but if only I could use that hammer. Anyway, yeah, so the first thing is the trait points themselves. I think it would feel bad for characters if they reduce the amount of trait points you can have. Like if they kept the same trait trees and say at level 150, 20 levels from now, in the future, if you went back to 50 trait points down from 90, I think that would feel bad for a lot of players and probably wouldn't be the best thing. So I feel like they need to eventually either put more in the trees or just rework the thing as a whole. And if they rework the thing as a whole, they can take that opportunity to reduce the amount of trait points. Ideally, I think the trait points should be gotten only from leveling, maybe. If they were to do a full rework, which I do feel is needed, because people do, like on my Warden's a bad example. What character? Guardian. So with the Guardian, I know that Red Line Guardian would go basically all the way to end in Yellow Line. I think it's true for a couple other classes and specs that they do things like that on, because there are some really good traits. You of course can't get to the last row, so as like a Blue Line Beorning, I couldn't get Broad Thrash or Call to the Wild. Or one significant one for Beornings is actually Overbearing. You can't get in a combat res unless you actually spec into the Yellow Line to begin with. Yeah, I have 2 lore masters. I guess one is below 60, one's above 60, but they'd be 2 options to stay. I'd probably, just thinking, maybe do a Guardian for our next low level one. The only problem is I just mentioned to them that I would do Guardian, but the only problem with that is I'd end up tanking again. I'm not sure if I'd actually want to tank again with a group like this. And Kika, I hope it's okay I keep calling you Kika, it's a lot quicker for me. I have no idea if I was saying your full name correctly earlier, but you said you would agree that cutting points feels bad. WoW did that, and 120 levels was dull as heck when you weren't getting talent points every other level. Yeah, that's one of the big things with WoW that I did not like. I don't like the talent system they have right now for a few reasons, but that was one thing. You'd spend so long with getting nothing. But for me, the big issue with WoW is you have a choice between 3 talents in each row. And to me, instead of feeling excited about the talent I pick, I feel bad about the talents I don't pick. So like on my Fire Mage, there's a particular row that has a bunch of exciting things and I like want all 3 of them basically. Can we do it 6 on level, you think? Okay. So it sounds like you can do Dragok with 6 people on level even. Yeah, I know I missed that here, but I remember on my Warden way back in the day, just attacking like all the paws or something. Although, I think those are called like claws, not paws. I forget what they're called. Are they called Dragok's feet or something? But there's something with the Dragok fight. I know you attack his claw things. I really don't know with Drakes if they're called paws, but anyway. Oh yeah, and also, Nathan, I know with LOTRO you do have to spend 2 trait points to get something in the other tree, but that just reminded me of something. When I saw 2 trait points, what you meant by that. So some classes, I know like with the Warden, there are some very good traits. So like if I was actually playing a blue line Beorning tanking here, getting debilitating bees, I think, actually don't know, I shouldn't even say this for sure, but something like that could be make or break for the spec. Like it could be very significant to their damage. Just like one thing that you might need 2 more trait points for, but if you're missing those 2, say if you didn't do the epic battles and didn't get those promotion point trait points, that's one of the things that I think would be very unfortunate about LOTRO system. Also, I suppose getting Composure as a blue line Beorning could be pretty good because you heal yourself for more. That's just a random thing here. It's not, I don't think that would be quite a make or break type one. Again, I don't know for sure that there's anything like that. I just know there are certain chunks that are very helpful to get. So like the Warden, they have, after switching into the melee spec from the yellow line, you get increased melee damage for a short duration. Oh, this boss has fire on the floor that we need to be careful of. Wait, so they just said Dragok, if you do all the fellowship maneuvers, he drops more treasure? I did not actually know that was a thing. That seems hard to do all the fellowship maneuvers. Oh, I think we're good to go. Sometimes we do a little bit of explanations with with the fights before, and somebody was talking, I think, just in Discord, so... Yes, so... Yeah, the Beornings are a little bit weird. Technically it is Wrath, not Rage, but it's basically Rage. I mean, Wrath is very similar to Rage anyway as a word. I don't know if they'd quite be synonyms, but it'd be pretty close. Anyway, yeah, they have a trait called Composure. Beornings are weird because they're really natureful, so they have stuff like Heart 10, Ferocious Roar, that is a bad example. Recuperate, that's, I don't know, Bracing Roar. Okay, maybe not. I thought more of their abilities maybe were like kind of composure, like what is this thing? Ooh, this looks a little bit familiar. That is the bow I have. I do not need to roll on that. I have 273 of those. So each time you loot the chest, you can get these medallions of Moria. Actually, I don't even know if the healer's here. It's a little bit of a concern. Actually, nobody's here joining me with the fight. That's kind of scary. I thought my group was here. Or at least a few of them were here, but it just took them a minute to join, I guess. So upon picking up the Composure talent, do you get a tasteful monocle and become a gentleman berserker? Possibly. You'd have to wear the monocle as the bearer, though. So I think we're going to try to all pull a lever at once. We'll see. I switched to this one because I thought somebody was about to go there. Do we, oops. The important thing with a countdown is if we do it on go or one, when people do countdowns, it's like 3, 2, 1 or 3, 2, 1 go. But we basically, so each of these levers we pull, we get a wave of mobs come down. So if we pull all at once, we actually get four levers at once. And yes, a monocle on a bear would be very funny. I wish they had some cosmetics that you could actually put on your bear. LOTRO is a big game about cosmetics and cosmetic armor, so it'd be neat if you could actually have some. Uh-oh. Okay, so we might have gotten a few of these. I don't think we quite got all 4 levers at once, but we got a few of them at once. It'll be a tough fight. I need to use my cooldown, need to use my heal. Gotta use this. Oh, I am not getting any heals. I don't know where the healer went. I was trying to drag these back to around the healer. I gotta keep kiting, basically. We actually have a totem, Defiler totem slowing us. Okay, my morale's back up a little bit. Yeah, I think we have to do it like very close to the same time. Well, yeah, I think we only got one last time, so we're getting progress. So last time we tried that, we did get, I think we only got one lever at once because we have to do them basically at the exact same time. Otherwise, for some people, it'll say you can't do it because there's no like induction or anything, I don't think. At least I don't remember there being one. Yeah, this guy, he's just absorbing everything. I'll pull him away. I doubt he does like anything dangerous or frontal AoEs or anything. Oh, so it sounds like two of them missed. Oh, so both of us on the left there. Anyway, so Kika, you said, speaking of mistakes, you just started up LOTRO, hopped onto your warden, and started your red line rotation, not realizing you were in blue line. Yeah, that's unfortunate. I think there might actually be a little bit of difference with that. Because some particular skills, I think, become stronger in the red line versus in the blue line. So it looks like we got basically the same thing we just did. 2 waves of these orcs at once. So we would have double this if actually we succeeded in pulling all 4 of these at once. We'd have double this. The unfortunate thing is I still have to take them in and use. The little dwarf, so that's the captain's herald actually. The captain's pet, he's all alone fighting that fire archer back there. I think I actually have aggro. I see the arrows coming to somebody in the group. Actually, it's probably the healer. No, he is actually attacking me. It looked like the arrow wasn't hitting me. That one actually did look like it. And hello, Ryan Glacier. You asked if I'm running with that Reborn kin. I am not. I'm running with my kin Mithril League on Anor. I think I have heard of Reborn. I don't know if they're on Anor. They could be. It might be. I feel like that's a kin name I recognize from Arkenstone, but maybe not. But yeah, we're all in the Mithril League. That is our kin here. Only one person on the, or in the kin that's not in the group, it looks like. Yep. I wonder if I can go through this. Nope. Usually things like that, even if it were open, sometimes will be blocked off, but I thought I'd try to get myself falling here. Yes, okay, so that is a kin on Arkansas. If I remember correctly, that Reborn kin that you mentioned, they have a progression group, I think, or they're, if I remember correctly, at least they're like a progression kin. But that might not be the case. Yeah. Oops, was I not supposed to? Oh, he did a lot of damage. I was not ready for that. So they are a level locked kin. Yeah, when I say progression kin, that's kind of what I mean, level locked. We're locked at 60 right now, except for one of our hunters is a little bit higher. I was not ready for that, sorry. So I didn't actually pay too much attention to what happened because my morale just went down. There might have been avoidable stuff. I almost remember this happening last time. And we're going to wait for the Runekeeper to res us. So yeah, it's probably going to take them a while to run back. I could actually probably run back faster because I have the faster movement speed and res everybody, but they're already doing that. Oops, I did not even mean to do that. I pressed escape and that does that. That at least gives us something to do. I was going to look at all my deeds because that's something I do need to look at. Yeah, I accidentally pressed escape, so I'm running back anyway. So I can look a little bit at the deeds while we navigate. Just make sure we don't run into a wall. Okay, so Kaza Doom, Forgotten Treasure. See, I still have all these deeds for the old instances, the lower level ones. Even Grand Stair, I still have to defeat wargs in there. That one's super easy. I could do that one solo, definitely, at some point in the future. And then Treasures of the Silvertine Lodes. I have no idea where the pile of gold coins are, but that's in the instances part of the deed log. I wonder if that is in the Forgotten Treasury. Vile Maw. We have not actually done the Vile Maw. Well, any pocket item's kind of better than the one I have. That's the unfortunate thing about oops, what was that? Yep. But that's one of the unfortunate things, since we're a level locked in, we have to use Stone of the Tortoise. And that actually does, there's some strong pocket items. I know the Hellegrod one actually is really strong, that one for the quest for Hellegrod that you can get at level 50. That one has a lot of tactical mitigation, which can be valuable. I don't know this character that he needs all that much. I mainly want a vitality. Well, all of that sounds good, but do any of them come with disabled XP? Do any of them come with the disabled XP? Sorry, I was referring, oops, I need to actually get some wrath. I was referring to the Stone of the Tortoise that we have to use. Okay, somebody was actually offering to craft me a pocket item. Yeah. So that's what that was all about the pocket item and Stone of the Tortoise. Yeah, it'd be nice if, like Smell the Roses, actually forget about that ability, but that's the one that suppresses mount buffs. It would be nice if they had an ability like that to turn off XP gain, and that way you don't have to do a pocket item. But yeah, I don't actually have a pocket item. The closest one I have is my Dreadstone, which that even gives some stats at least. Or it'd be nice if the Stone of the Tortoise gave some scaling stats. Oop. Guess the Beorning did not get the res. That was weird because I'm pretty sure. There we go. Yeah. And also this character, just a random note about his jewelry. I really need to replace these rings. They're not like very bad. They actually give a decent amount of morale. I think that's roughly 100 vitality if you convert the maximum morale back to vitality on that, just to give some reference. So it sounds like when we interrupt his heal, maybe, that's actually when he did all the damage. So I'll actually even use my food because I have a bunch of them. I think I am out of the what are those called? The things that give you hope, the hope tokens, that's what they're called. I think some people are. Gonna use my bow buff. But yeah, I think with my max morale, I'm at 19.2k. If I actually did have that hammer, that one-handed hammer, I think I would be finally up to 20k. But yeah, I don't think we had like all these buffs last time. Wow, as soon as we got in combat, I guess we got dread, so like drop down on the morale. Can use my buffs, and then yeah, we need to not interrupt that heal. I actually did a bunch of interrupts. Oh, he was interrupted. Actually, I saw him hit the Runekeeper for a lot when he was interrupted. Well, yeah, if we don't die, we can kill him. We killed him really quick when we didn't die. That's an interesting earring. That would actually be a good upgrade. Oh, I was thinking it gave me a lot of morale. There's another Lore Master's book. It'd technically, I think, be a little bit of a tanking upgrade. That's a ton of will, though. It is a lot of will. That's a ton of will for this level, I think. I'll pass because somebody else probably wants it. Oops, I rolled on something. Oh, that's another finger. This is potentially an upgrade for me. I don't really care too much about the fate. I also have the on use. Okay, let's try to get to 20k morale real quick. Should be pretty easy. Oh, I can't actually use the buff on that. If I had the buff on that, I could maybe. I'm surprised the Runekeeper didn't need it. Oh, the Runekeeper has the... Okay, the Runekeeper has actually the Epic Battle Jewelry. That is really strong. If I got Epic Battle Jewelry on this character... Wow. I could easily have 20k morale, I think. I did not realize how strong that could be for this level, even. But yeah, it sounds like we are done, at least with the Moria content that we're doing. On this character, I might get him down to Lothlorien, just travel there. I guess I could travel, as fun as it is to be in bear form, I'll just travel on my horse. So yeah, it sounds like we're planning out a little bit, but I honestly don't know where my train of thought was going. But yeah, I have actually had got a couple of Lore Master books, so that's good. I have 2 characters. Yeah, I still have all the instances pretty much. Khazad-dûm has a few, actually, more than one. Yeah. I guess Filgash and I have 2, and then Forgotten Treasure and Grandstair, I both have 1. I don't know why I'm actually riding my horse the whole way here. I guess it's from what we did like right before that instance started. I think this character is actually a gatherer. I could actually gather these if I had the inventory spaces. What is this? A Beorning's carving. Oh, I actually do have some Khazad scoring. And hello, Matthew Fogarty. You said you want to start a new character on LOTRO and concentrate more on crafting stuff. Any tips about crafting in the game? So, I don't know. It depends. It depends what profession you want to do. I personally like the gathering professions the most, but that's probably not too helpful if you want to do a bunch of crafting. So one thing I would just recommend is getting the guild crafting as early as possible. I think you can do that once you get to the expert tier and the actual crafting, and just starting on that early and keeping up with those. If you want to like really focus on crafting, that would be something important and good to do. So that's pretty much all I have, because I don't do too much crafting. But if you have a few alts in general, just keeping all the crafting resources that you get. I usually keep all these, and I don't even do that much crafting. That's just because I hoard them in case I ever need them, or even people in my kinship, I could give them to them if they need them. But that's pretty much why I save all of mine at this point. And inventory space, that is what I have exactly 0 of right now. I also don't know what it means, and I have all these slots. No space in these slots though. Actually, I have a ton of old potions. I should just sell those. There's really no point in keeping those, especially the power potions. I don't need those. I can give the high level power potions maybe to somebody else that needs them, but there should be a vendor here, like an actual vendor, not just barter provisions maybe. Yeah, they have an actual shop that I can sell at. The envoy is not in mask. I want to keep that. It depends if I can get an essence for it though, if I'll use it. I might even use it over my current helmet if I can get an essence for it. I know it's technically medium armor and agility, but both of those, well, I can use medium armor, of course heavy armor would be better, but the agility is just a slightly worse version than might. Might is better than agility, definitely, but agility does provide physical mastery, at least for the Beorning. Just not quite as much as might provides. Might also does give tactical mastery, I think, for heals and things like that, but I think I could get this one to be decent enough. If not, it's bound to my account, so I'll eventually have a hunter or burglar that could use this, or even another warden. And then this finger, I'm not sure that's quite enough to... I would honestly keep that just to hit 20k morale on this character. Otherwise, sell all this stuff. I don't really care about the... Actually, that's a class item, Thunderous Roar. Let me see if I can use that. Class item, where is that? Well, let me just search Thunder. And I don't have any valid items, so that means I can sell that safely. Because I have my first stage class item, but that probably means I already have that. Yeah, Thunderous Roar cooldown, I actually do have that. I'm going to rank that up even more. Wonder what would be good next. Probably not Bear Form crit defense. That was a small amount. Actually, at rank 9, that would... Wonder if that'd actually be worth considering. 2500 crit defense. Be a huge increase. That could actually be worthwhile investing into. Let's see. I think... Yeah, that's not... Okay, that's not one of the things I can incur, but right now it is 6.1%. If I don't quite, but almost double that. Oh, that's Bear Form crit defense. That'll explain why that didn't change. That goes all the way up to 20%. So that might actually be... I already put the points in it, of course, but that's something to think about for the future. And Kika, you asked, how does one disenchant something? So you have to get the Flames of Encalamere. You can get that from one of the loot box vendors. They will carry that. And some gear is disenchantable, mainly a lot of endgame gear after like starting with Mordor, I think is when they added a lot of gear that does that. And not all gear pieces you run through at that point will be disenchantable, but a few of them will for Embers of Enchantment at endgame at like level 130, and then most of Enchantment at a little bit lower level. And then even some crafted gear or some different gear pieces will be disenchantable as well. I think with Minas Morgul into crafting that specifically. So yeah, I think that's how that works. Kind of staring at my inventory, there was something, oh yeah, one more thing I wanted to do. I just thought at the end of the stream, since there isn't too much group content or anything like that coming up, I thought about looking at the cosmetics here. Not necessarily from the cosmetic vendor, but we'll see what they have. I just want to find something maybe a little bit more thematic towards a Beorning. So in general, when I think of Beorning, the cosmetic with them at least, I probably want something light to medium armor looking. I don't like a heavy armor look on this character or on a Beorning in general. Otherwise, I might even use this. So if I equip this outfit, I don't think that's dyeable. If it were dyeable, I might consider it, but having heavy armor, I don't really like on a Beorning as much. I like the lighter to medium armor look like they used to have. But yeah, I just thought about quickly looking for a cosmetic maybe. This doesn't even, it actually has a bear looking thing on the chest, but it almost looks more like heavy armor than medium armor to me. I think I did select medium armor. I think I'd have a better luck actually looking at raid gear or something like that. Those shoulder pads, they're way too big. It's one of the things in WoW. Sometimes big shoulder pads are nice, but not one of the things I like in WoW all that often. Yeah, none of these are quite looking like I could look at light, but a lot of them have robes. I'm not much for robes. I kind of like hauberks when I think about cosmetics for Beorning. So actually something like this, if it weren't so ugly. That's just like too ugly for me to really consider, but something like that would be the design of that. Anyway, nothing from the cosmetic vendor there. So you're getting stuff out of the chest that you need to spend points to get the keys for and kept getting moat gear. And that was until you figured how to filter those chests since they were spamming you. Yeah, you can filter the chests, which is nice. So your Beorning cosmetic, Nathan, is the level 5 Radagast gear that Radagast gives you when you leave the Vale. I have a question for you. Is that this gear? It might not be, but if it is, I actually do have that as an outfit for this character. Specifically, I wear it when I'm wearing nothing else though. So like no shoes. Even though I think technically these shoes, oh, maybe they don't match, I don't know. But yeah, technically I do have like a matching set of that if I could find, I don't like these bracers. Yeah, they're bracers, so they're not gloves, but yeah, this is this character's backup outfit. I also do need a cosmetic weapon, I suppose. I don't know what happened to my side weapon. Oh, that's why it's not showing. I need to put some one-hander in there. I guess I could even use, kind of like the look of my off-handed weapon better than my first stage LI. Okay, that way I just at least have some matching stuff. There we go. One of them's glowing bluish and one greenish. So you use that one and a headband. Yeah, I think this one has the headband. It does have the headband. It's a nice cosmetic, but I want something a little bit different, I think, than that. But kind of that theme, that look with the more hauberk type chest. I don't know what else to call it besides hauberks, because that's what they're called. Waistcoat. That's what they're called, I think, in the game a lot. I don't think the light armor vendor. Actually, I could potentially get something like that on another character. Where is Classic, maybe? They might have a cosmetic set. Fornost? I don't think I will go with that. I want something a little bit fancier than that. Like usually this would actually be something, so this is of course medium armor for Hunter and Burglar and Warden and stuff, but when I actually get to level 65, I could actually consider getting like a Baird Guldur set like this. I don't know if it'd be better. I think on some of the characters it's not going to be better, some classes. But some of these pieces could be upgrades for tank. But that's getting a little bit distracted. What is this one? Deathstorm, I'm guessing, is champion. That one actually doesn't look too bad. For some reason, I'm not familiar with that set. I don't think I'd use that on a Beorning, but... even that one doesn't look too bad. I know I have the chest dyed like black. Probably wouldn't ever use rust. So Kika, you've been using the cosmetics. You got them from Ultimate expansion packs you picked up. Yeah, I actually do have a couple of those. I have the Mordor one and the War of Three Peaks one. The problem with the War of Three Peaks one is it's only like a couple pieces. There's not a full set to go with it. There's no like shoulder pads and I think no gloves or something. So that would be kind of a reason I don't use that. Did we look at... yeah, we looked at battle leaders. What is this bow? Is this my actual bow? Does my bow look like that? Wow. I have a very fancy bow that I did not know about. Fancy looking, at least. It's just like a big bow, I suppose. But medium armor, that's what I'd actually be interested in looking at on this character. Probably not that. I don't know why I have chest dyed as yellow. If I were playing this character, I usually like red on Beornings, of course. I guess with bleeds and all other skills are red themed. That's kind of why I associate that color with the class. But thinking about Mirkwood, it'd have to be a dark red. For some reason, I always expect Autumn Leaf to be like orange, or Sunset Orange almost looks red. Yeah, that's too pinkish. Crimson? Crimson, that would be a good color, I think, to go into Mirkwood with, maybe on a Beorning. Combine the Rohirrim cosmetic with it? That is possible. Let's see, I actually have the War of Three Peaks bundle to open up, and I might have some Rohirrim. I don't know if this is Helminga's. I think this was... oh, I really don't remember. Let me actually see if I put this on. Usually don't wear helmets. These actually match a little bit, I suppose. I don't know if this is what you were talking about, but they match a little bit. I don't know if they match enough. Also don't think you can dye any of these. Oh, you can dye the chest, but not any of the others, but... yeah, this is, the Hornburg Defender specifically is from Westerohan when these legendary servers opened up to them, I think. If I remember correctly. Yeah, I know the ones I'm looking at right here, I just know are super easy to get. I don't have to think about them too much once I get them. Was one of the reasons. Did we look at Shadowstalker yet? I don't know why I have the chest piece dyed as pink. I would also need to find, like, even if I use this... okay, so this is what you're talking about. I don't think that looks too bad. They kind of go together. The main thing I don't like personally with the chest piece is the back of it. Also for this character in particular, that still looks a little bit heavier than I would prefer. Maybe I'm just too particular about my cosmetic sets, and that's why I think that's one reason I don't usually spend the time to get cosmetics, because I'm like very particular about the way I like things to look. So it just takes me like forever to actually find something I like. The blue Isengard set from the Rise of Isengard release on the legendary servers is pretty nice. That one I missed. I think the Runekeeper in our group had that. That was the one they were using for a while, but I did miss that one, unfortunately. I think I've pretty much looked at everything I'd probably be interested in. There is one more option that this character could actually look at, I think, and that's the medium armor. Actually turn on floating names so I can see who is who. And then there is specifically sets. I don't know, Stalker. I kind of doubt that'd look good. Okay, I'm not seeing anything. Campaign armor, I don't think that has anything. But more specifically, the Erebor gear. There could actually be some decent pieces with this if I could barter for them. I don't know. I think the requirement is you have to actually do the raids on tier 1 first. On whatever character I'd barter for these. That actually doesn't look too bad. I don't even know what that was. Was that Erebor knife? Or do all these look the same? I think that looks pretty nice, especially if I were playing a burglar. But even if I don't have the helmet, maybe. I'd almost like that on a Beorning even if I didn't have the helmet. Say if I were going... Oh, it doesn't dye too well because that stays brown. I would mainly be interested in changing that brown part to a different color. I think it could be okay dyed. Maybe if I were going into Rohan, that seems like a good Rohan color to me. Like if, I don't know why I have so much trouble finding a green, dark green. That doesn't even look dark. I forget dark green is not dark. An actual darker green is Rivendell green. But yeah, something like that I don't think would look bad if this character was going to Rohan instead of Mirkwood. And Kika, you said being particular about cosmetics is pretty much the point. Yeah, I suppose that's a good thing with the cosmetics in LOTRO. There are just so many things to look from. It almost annoys me that I spend so much time trying to like perfect whatever cosmetic. This one, I actually don't know too much about Peter Pan. I just like remember it being a thing, a person. But for some reason this made me think of that. I don't know why. Maybe the hat helped a little bit. These don't look too bad overall, they're just not quite something I would use. Ooh, sea blue? Don't think I like that. It's a very bright color. I don't even know where sea blue went. I think these all look the same, right? Yeah. Okay, so Warden. Oh, we can actually see there's a Beorning set. Maybe that'll look good for the Beorning. This is Warden? This actually looks pretty Warden-y. It's a mix between medium and heavy looking to me. Oh, dark clay. I don't know. I guess some people might like dark clay, but that's never something I would want. Definitely not Shire Plum. Crimson was the one I was looking at earlier. I thought that could be interesting to have. I guess depending on the secondary colors that don't change with the dye. And hello, Jubal. He said you just started watching Lothlorien a lot. Well, just so you know, you just started watching when I'm doing like a big cosmetic spree here. So I am just looking at cosmetics at this point pretty much. And you said Lothlorien is one of your favorite places to visit in Middle-earth, but you can't seem to complete the instance of Battle of Lothlorien. I kind of forget what the Battle of Lothlorien is, to be honest. Yeah, I'm not sure I could actually get this one to work. And then here's the actual Beorning one. Yeah, I would have to have some sort of cloak to go with that probably, or not just a cloak, but maybe some sort of back item. Not always a big fan of cloaks, but so that Kika, you said that shade of green is right for Peter Pan. I know that was probably a long while ago that we were on that, but that is good to know, I suppose. So these are just the greater versions, so probably not interested in those. I was just surprised. I guess I never looked at these cosmetics before because I don't remember any of them. Oh, I was not expecting this to look like it does. I don't know why I keep picking all these weird colors, at least weird to me. Some people might like them, and I even think people make neat outfits with colors I basically want to pick. Battle of Lothlorien being a cook-off between elves and spiders. That would be interesting. It's a level 90 armor. This is 95. I don't know, I'm looking at very random things. Of course I'm limited by just looking at the skirmish camp, but I just thought I might be able to find something. Here's the Nadan armor. I wonder if we can barter this. No, we have to wait until the level cap's raised to 100 on the server. Anyway, I feel like with this character I've made no progress with this cosmetic. I might just keep with this one. I don't dislike this one. I just thought it would be nice to get a little bit of something a little bit different. Could, of course, if I really wanted something different, use this. You can actually dye this? Okay, I might dye this and start using this set. I think that could be interesting. Probably not Iridluin blue. I mentioned crimson earlier. Let's see what the shoulders look like on crimson. I wonder if I could find gloves. Usually I like using gloves in LOTRO, but they're not necessary. I just think I need a few crimson dyes at this point, and we'll run with this. I guess I can put these bracers up and see what they dye like. Oh, you can't dye those? That's unfortunate. Could even do the head if I wanted that band. I don't know if I'd want that band, but it'd be an option. Anyway, I'm surprised somebody mentioned this earlier that they use it on their Beorning. I think it was Nathan. I didn't even think about dyeing that, but that actually, I think that would be pretty neat dyed in crimson. And I think that'll probably bring us about, I can go ahead and put I don't know why I don't use this. I could put it cosmetically. I think that would be a good way to equip it. Put it on this one. Oh, do I have to actually, I think I have to actually put the weapon there for that Orcbane imbue thing to go. Wait, it says this item will not be shown because the corresponding slot in your equipment tab is empty. Not sure that is the case. I think it always says that, but it actually works. Oh, maybe because I have to actually show them. I don't know exactly, but we'll see if my weapon glows if I go near an orc. Maybe we can actually test that now, because I'm really curious if that actually will work right now or not. There is an orc. So my weapon should glow when I get near him with this. I have a slight glow on my character, but I don't think it's actual weapons. We'll see when I actually get in combat with this orc. Yeah, I don't see. I'm near an orc. I don't know if it comes up as a buff. I don't think it does. And it says that can't be, this item will not be shown because a corresponding slot in my equipment tab is empty. Oh, do I have to actually have something in there? Do I have to actually have that? Maybe that's the case. The only problem with that is I don't know how I would equip this and then maybe get it in my offhand and my ranged weapon, or if you can only have it on one at once. That's also possible. So let's see if I go near an orc if it'll actually glow any differently. I know on my hunter, for example, or even there's another character, my captain, it was like very barely noticeable. Here it does glow. You can actually see it here pretty significantly when I have it on that. So I'm guessing, well, it was glowing. Oh no, what happened? It just like stopped for a moment. There we go. But yeah, I think it's only my main hand weapon glowing now. Could put that there and it'd probably just go on my bow, but anyway, I just thought that would be interesting good for me to actually check on. But yeah, I actually kind of like this outfit even without the gloves using it. I don't know why. I guess I didn't have the boots. I just had it like the not quite naked but almost naked version of this without like the shoulder pads and boots, and I used it mainly actually when I did the Midsummer Festival for some reason in the Great Wedding. That's when I used it. But anyway, I just thought it would be interesting to check on the cosmetics with y'all for this character because I made that discovery on my Runekeeper. I think I mentioned this at the beginning of the stream, but the whole reason I did that was because I made the discovery on my Runekeeper that cosmetics to me are surprisingly important, because just by getting that cosmetic on my Runekeeper, I'm like way more interested in playing him because he is using the same outfit that I used since Moria, and it was thematic towards Moria, but I was really tired of it, and it was kind of similar to a lot of outfits I used on other characters. But suddenly getting a new outfit on him made me a lot more interested in actually continuing to play that character more, which was kind of unexpected. I don't know why when I go up to this part of the barrel I start floating, but we'll have a floating bear here, floating and leaning bear. But anyway, with this stream, I hope y'all did enjoy it, not only with the brief cosmetic part here, but also the Moria instances we did. Unfortunately, we did not get to do Dar Narbugud because we didn't have enough people, and that was what was originally planned. And as we went through the beginning, I got this character's wrap up and got a ton of LOTRO points. And hello, Christopher, you asked, you just started to watch my YouTube videos a lot. Would I suggest jumping into LOTRO, and if so, live or legendary? So they both have their merits. First of all, you have to be a subscriber to play on the legendary servers, but if that is not an issue for you, then I will continue with this. First off, with the legendary servers, the current endgame is at level 95, and there's not too much endgame if that's what you'd play it for. If you want a little bit of a slower leveling experience and want to have the experience of having the whole server capped off at a lower level, then it is good for that as well. But the live servers have more content and they're more populated. The legendary server, particularly at Nor, is about a quarter or a sixth, around that range, 20%, 15 to 25% of the population of the regular server. So if you go with a normal server, you will overall run into a lot more people, but a lot of them are going to probably be level 130 or at endgame, depending what particular server you choose. But the good thing with the legendary servers is there's a lot fewer levels for you to get to. The live servers have 130 levels, which is a lot if you're interested in like catching up to people to do whatever endgame content there is at the time. It would be quicker to jump into the legendary servers and do that, but also with the legendary servers you get minus 40% XP. You only get 60% of the normal XP, so it's a little bit slower leveling. Some people prefer that. I think for some areas it's good, and just slow you down, keep you on pace with the actual content a bit more. But then sometimes, like when I'm leveling alts, I actually do want them to level fast because maybe I've done whatever content a lot. I want them to get to a particular zone or level range to do stuff on. So it can be a little bit annoying at the same time because of that. But I play on both live and legendary servers. I play on Arkenstone for a normal, and I play on a Nor a lot because my kinship is here. Is basically the main reason I play on this server. And Arkenstone, I check out the new content, and a lot of my low-level characters will probably be on Anor, just because, again, that's where my main kinship is. I am in a kinship on Arkenstone. I haven't actually played with them in a while, just because I've been kind of burnt out, I suppose, of the level 130 endgame. Lothlorien's very nice. I'm just like looking at the trees in the background while doing this little bit of outro and answering Christopher's question, and I hope that answered your question okay. But yeah, Lothlorien's just so nice with the variation of colors. A little bit of orange in the leaves, but mainly yellow, and then some darker green and lighter green throughout, and even some yellowish green goldish. It is, I think, called the Golden Wood. Of course, those are way more golden looking, but just even in this little bit of background, it's pretty neat looking with all the colors. And also the tiny bit of nighttime bloom I think there is in Lotro helps a little bit. It's pretty strong in other zones like Forestall. I know the bloom is quite strong, but anyway, I think that's a good point to start wrapping this stream up. thinking towards future content, I would like to have a video tomorrow, but I can't guarantee I will edit it in time. If I do upload it, I would like to upload it around like 12 p.m. Eastern time. That's usually when I try to have those videos, but it'll probably be later if I do get to doing that tomorrow. Otherwise, Tuesday, I might be able to stream, but I can't also guarantee that. Just a busy early part of the week for me. But then by Wednesday, I should be able to do my WoW Wednesday streams that I'm doing now. So we'll be back to that. I'm probably still trying to find a class I like, continuing that mini-series, getting to the tanks or healers. So that is the future outlook for the content, at least what I know right now. And as far as this stream goes, wow, so Killa Gazumi, right before the end of the stream, you gave another super chat for $10, so that's $20 total from both of those from you. So I very much do appreciate that. Again, as I mentioned, what the last one that goes to back into the content. And he said, hope you have a nice night once you're done wrapping up the stream. Yes, it takes me forever to wrap up the stream sometimes. I'm usually just talking and have like nothing actually going on in the game. That's why I try to find a nice background, because I just like sit here talking forever and rambling. But again, thank you for that super chat, the $10 tip. I really do appreciate it, and hope you have enjoyed this stream and all the chatting. And Robert, you said good night and good stream, so thank you for that. I hope you all have a good evening / night as well, or perhaps rest of your day. I know some people occasionally have mentioned they're watching this at like 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. their time, from like EU, Europe viewers or elsewhere, where it's a very different time zone. But anyway, with this stream, I hope you all have enjoyed it. And if you have, please consider liking and subscribing for more, or consider becoming a channel member to support the content. And thanks for joining and chatting and watching, and thanks for the tips, Kikagazumi.